good evening, those of you who are jumping on and waving. Hello, 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 hello. How are you guys doing on this fantastic Sunday? Hello, 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 hello. Yes, as I see more of you coming in. And don't forget to tag people and let them know that this is happening, and tag them and invite them to join the conversation. Tonight's conversation is going to be about deception. Now, guys, you know that I do a relationship show called After Dark. Most of you know that. And we talk about many aspects of relationships. And we do that on Facebook. And we do that on YouTube. But tonight we're doing this on Instagram. Trying something new. And I really want to talk to you about... deception, and talk to you about the realities of relationships, because I've heard so many things. I've heard younger people, older people talking about relationships. I'm just going to clean my glasses, and they're saying, you know, about what you bring to the table and all of these things, modern day women and all of these things. And I'm actually a bit fed up of it, to be fair, because I think that in general, I think women are getting a hard deal. I think there are some things that we need to fix up on. But I do think that we are, you know, I just think that the world's gone a bit mad lately. So good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening to everybody that's joining tonight. Now, you'll see me putting my glasses off and on. So I'm going to be starting this off. And as I said, it is so I can see who is there. It is a very different show tonight. So just to say what deception is, or deceit is, it's the action or practice of deceiving someone by concealing or misrepresenting the truth. Right? I'm just going to say that again. I should have actually typed that in before. It is the action or the practice of deceiving someone by concealing or misrepresenting the truth. That is what deceit is. Now, I wonder if I press this, if this will, yes. Here we go. I'm going to send it in, and I'm going to be introducing a special guest who's going to be telling us her story. Now, I think that our voice is the most powerful thing that we have in our arsenal. As individuals, our voice is the most powerful thing that we have. And very often what we do is we suppress our voice. We suppress... Hello, 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 hello. My guest has arrived. Hello, hello, hello. I'm just going to carry on, and then I'm going to introduce you, my darling. So, this is Cheryl. Let me just not be rude. This is Cheryl. Cheryl, how are you this evening?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for having me, Yvonne. Thanks for being happy to be here.
You're very, very welcome. Now, as I was saying, that our voice is the most powerful thing that we have in our arsenal as people, as human beings. And what happens very often is that we suppress our voice, we dumb ourselves down, we hide our light. And when things happen, you know, sometimes it's an element of shame. We feel embarrassed about things that happen in our relationship, so we don't really talk about it, or we'll talk about it to our friend, and it'll all be a hush hush. But you know, I do believe that we have an obligation to one another as human beings to sound the alarm. We must sound the alarm. Many people go through abusive situations because they keep quiet.
Yeah.
And that is a choice. That is very much a choice. And so today, what I'm saying is, speak out. Use your voice. Use your voice for good. Now, I'm not saying that you must use your voice to slate a person and carry on. But what I'm saying is that you must talk your truth. Many generations have gone before us, especially, and I'm going to say this, especially Black women. We've been raised strong. We've got to be strong. You know, and we don't show our weakness. No. When we go through things, we must, and I think it is a must, not even a should, it's a must. We must talk about these things and let people know, because far too often abuse goes on, be it sexual, be it whatever kind of abuse it is, it goes on undetected because we are quiet. So today's situation is slightly different, but we're talking to Cheryl tonight, and Cheryl's going to be telling us her story and you know, and identifying those red flags, identifying those things that should really, come on, wake up, listening to our intuition. These are the things that we are going to be talking about tonight. So without further ado, Cheryl, I am so glad that you are here tonight. I thank you for being brave and being bold to speak your truth.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just, you know, life is a funny thing. And, you know, as you were saying, that you can go through experiences and not say nothing and just, you know, just go through those things. But I wanted to share and be, you know, just to be open about my experience, so I can go through my own healing journey, and also to help somebody else, and just to talk about it. Because sometimes we just don't talk about these things, you know, we say it with a friend, or so, you know, my experience, what I'm going to share today is about deception, and I've spoken to Yvonne about it. And basically, I met somebody in a, you know, as a single person, single mom. You know, I've just, you know, registered my company last year, and I wanted to build up my confidence, you know, in talking with different types of people, and just to network, really. So I was introduced to a networking platform where lots of people are going in that platform now, having a voice and just connecting with different people. And I'm a very open person. I'm very warm. I'm easy to get along with. And I met quite a few people on that platform, lovely people, male and female. And I met somebody, really nice guy, very charming. Listened to his story, really touched me, his passion. I'm not going to mention his name, because people who know me or who may be here, they may know who it is. But I just don't want to mention his name, because he's a link to other people who may, I'm thinking about the effects that it could cause as well. So I'm not going to mention his name. But I met him in a networking forum, really nice, charming person. It was all to do with networking. I listened to his story. It touched me. I actually financially sold into that, into his organization as well. And, you know, when I was meant to have a meeting, I was sick with COVID. He called me to see if I was okay. Just such a lovely guy.
So this guy,
not thinking.
Sorry to cut you there. So just to say that this guy is a professional guy. So this is a professional networking platform that you have met this person. Okay.
Yeah. He's professional, and you know, yeah.
Okay.
So we built. So basically, there's conversation going back and forth with us, and the dynamics after a while of the conversation kind of slightly changed. And that's because I had a dilemma, not such a dilemma, but there was a friend of mine, and her friend was interested in me. Right. He was asking about me. And because that was an overseas situation, that was one of my non-negotiables.
Right.
Because I'm dating overseas.
In terms of dating, you don't.
In terms of dating,
okay.
I didn't want to go into long distance dating. I rather that I can be present with the person, so I can get to know them.
Yeah.
family and so forth, because there's so much deception in regards to, no judgment to anyone who's doing long distance. If it works for you, that's you. But for me, that's one of my non-negotiables.
Okay.
And so I had this dilemma. So I thought, I don't want to talk to my girlfriends about it, because I always do that. I thought I want to do something different. So I spoke with him about it. And I spoke with another.
Oh, so sorry, I'm going to interject. So you spoke to the guy that you were networking with about the situation, that somebody was interested in you, they're from abroad, and that's a non-negotiable. Okay.
Yeah.
Ladies, I think it's all ladies on here at the moment. I just want to say, listen to the story very, very,
very well.
Carefully. Yeah.
Very well. Okay. Very, very well. Okay. Have time to listen. God, I'm laughing now, but I was in tears last week.
Okay.
Yeah. I was in tears. Yeah.
It's a recent
anyway,
thing that's happened as well. This is very recent.
Yeah, it's very recent. So I have a friend, an old school friend of mine, who's in Ghana, and I put it to him. So I wanted to have a male's perspective.
Right.
This is the situation. This guy likes me. He's abroad, and I gave them all the parts of the information, and they both were saying the same thing. And this particular guy, who's professional, and we met on the professional platform. Yeah. We had a really lovely conversation. So the dynamics of the conversation changed, because then, it was asking me, what kind of guy are you looking for? And I kind of like talking about, the kind of guy, who I'm hoping to meet. And he goes, oh, so, and then he was adding bits. And I thought, ooh. And kind of charming. And then the conversation was shifted. He wants to get to know the real me.
Okay.
And then he goes, what does Cheryl like? And when he said that, there was a trigger in me, which I never let him know, but it triggered me. Like I wanted to cry, because no one actually has never asked me that question before.
Okay.
So it was kind of in that kind of. So there was something about that conversation. There was a shift.
Okay, so let me just stop you there. That shift, what was that feeling that you had? Just tell us about the feeling that you had when he actually turned and asked you, what do you really want? What I want to get to know you. How did that make you feel?
I knew there was a trigger. It made me feel like, wow, no one's actually asked me that. No man. In my life has ever asked that question.
So did it give you a sense of importance? Somebody's actually interested in you?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, guys, make sure you listen to this, because these are the things that we go through, whether you're a woman or whether you're a man. When you've been single for a long time, or you've been single-ish, even, these are the things, when people are approaching us and they're asking us different questions, it brings up an emotion, and that is the emotion that then will make us make the choices that we make. Carry on, Cheryl.
Yeah. And I've been single for a time, and there's a yearning there's a yearning to want to be in a relationship and want to build with somebody. There's that yearning in me. Not that every man I see I want to date him, but he had something about him that I was attracted to as well. Okay. So we had those kind of conversations, and and that really left me like, and the conversation went even more deeper. So he started to share things of childhood with me, and then obviously I felt like he shared that with me because he wants me to open up and share something deep with him. But at that point, I kind of held back to that. I felt like I was open enough, and it happened so quickly as well. This wasn't over time. It was quite a quick, in-depth conversation. The way it just shifted, and then I was kind of like a little bit open. I could have gone a bit more in depth about my past, but I thought, no, let me just savor that. Okay. So we, was in contact because I was involved in what he was doing. Yeah. His organisation. I said, talked about meeting, having a meeting, and I just wanted to like network. So I will help you in your organisation. Maybe you can help me. That's how I wanted to network. So there was a shift in our conversation, and it got a little bit more deep.
Mm-hmm.
And then either we had conversations, and the conversations were like really warm. Obviously there was a shift, and we're talking about stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it took a different dynamic. And it was sometimes it was a bit late at night we was having this conversation.
Hold on 1 minute, Cheryl. I've got 2 Cheryls on. I'm going to take you off for a minute because you're on.
Oh, no, hide me.
Okay. I don't know how to take you off.
How do you do that?
I have no idea. Hold on. It's not doing. Hold on. There we go. No, it should take you to leave. Does it say leave anywhere?
No.
And isn't that ironic? 2 Cheryls are the same. 2 Cheryls.
No. Hi, Cheryl.
Hello, there's a bit of a shock to you. Hi. It's fine
Oh,
though.
there we go. I've got something. Right. Okay. There you go. I've removed you.
You done it?
Yeah. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Okay.
So yeah, so you know, we were having regular conversations on the phone.
Yeah.
And there was a time we were going to meet up. So we were going to meet up at the place where he's doing his organisation.
Okay.
So I get there. It was him and another person, a male who's working with, and there was another young lady there, as well. And that was fine. We was all talking about what's good, what's happening, blah blah blah. But I felt that the lady at the time, I felt like she was actually marking her territory, which I thought, oh, this is interesting.
So at this time now, you guys, you and this person, you are now seeing each other, speaking each other, and creating.
No, not yet.
Oh.
No. So he's made a mention that he wants to get to know me. He wants to get to know the real Cheryl, and that shift in the conversation got intimate. Yeah, so there was a shift in our conversation.
Okay.
Not yet. The seal deal is coming. So we met up at this place. There's the guy there. We're having a meeting. There's another lady there, and I felt that this lady, lovely girl, but I felt that she was marking her territory, and I thought, okay, this is interesting. And then the body language where she went over to him, I looked at that and I thought, that's familiar. That body language was quite familiar to me, but I never thought nothing of it with there. Anyway, cut long story short, he drives me home, not home, he drives me to the station. And then we're bantering because this is the first time we're seeing each other, because all the conversations was on the phone, but this is the first time we're seeing each other. So we were bantering, and there was flirtation going on there, and and he made mention to me, did you see the way he said I've got to be very careful with women because of my positioning.
Right.
And for me, I didn't understand all of this. If you know what kind of position you are in, how you've got to be careful, how you move. I don't know nothing about that. I'm just a normal, everyday, simple person. And then he made mention, did you see how she came near me? And I thought, oh, that's interesting, because I banked that, because I banked what I saw. Anyway, time went on. We met up, and we met up. We spoke. We kissed. I made mention. We talked about a relationship forming here. So there was a relationship forming, but there was a lots of rigmarole regarding this other lady. There was lots of like, for instance, he would say to me, because of my ex-wife, I can't have anyone come to my house, because if they do, if she sees that, then he won't be able to see his daughter.
Right. So hold on. Let's just stop. So you're saying that. So in terms of visits, in terms of how so the openness is you have your own place. He can come to you, but you can't go to him because there might be an external issue from that. that might.
From his ex-wife, yeah. So his ex-wife sees any activity with a female going to his house, then she will stop him from seeing his child. This is what he said to me.
Right.
You know. So when I spoke to my sister about this, she said to me straight away, red flag.
Yeah.
But I said, no, it's a situation. Some women are like that, you know, and that, you know, those things happen. I didn't want to see that red flag, if I'm honest with you. I was like, do you know what? This cannot be, because the way he is like he speaks his truth. And if there's anything unauthentic, as far as I'm aware, he will speak his truth. I'm not even thinking that there's going to be any issue.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, there was a moment when we were supposed to have met. The first time we met, we were very flirtatious in that meeting, and we kissed and so forth. Nothing happened. We didn't go any further than that. I haven't slept with him, so I want to make that clear.
Mm-hmm.
We did kiss and stuff, and so we talked about relationships and how we're going to go forth. So there was another time we were supposed to have met, and I was waiting for him. So we was meant to meet at 10 o'clock. I was waiting for him, 10 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
I was waiting for him.
Yeah.
And half an hour goes by, he didn't turn up. And I thought, okay. So I called him.
Mm-hmm.
He goes, I'm 10 minutes away. And I said, okay, 10 minutes away. And then all of a sudden he calls me back in 10 minutes and says that he has to go to the airport quickly to pick up a family member. I thought, okay, yeah, that's great. I live 10 minutes away from that airport. You're 10 minutes away from me. So my mind was thinking, you could come and pick me up on the way, drop me off, and then go and pick up the family member. That did not happen. I was left where I was. I thought he was going to come. I was left where I was for a couple of hours. He didn't turn up, so I was mad as brass. So what I did when I tried to call him, I couldn't get through to him.
Really?
And then I couldn't get through to him, didn't answer my phone call at all.
Yeah.
So I exited out of his groups, because I was in two of his groups. I exited out both the groups. So I could so there could be some kind of response. He calls me in the evening, asks me why did I exit the group, told him I was childish, blah, blah, blah. So that was for him, that was a disdain, because he says like, what kind of woman are you? I went to go pick up my family member. That shouldn't be a problem for you. But it was a problem, because I was planning to meet you. Not only did you not call me when you were late, but you left me there, you know. So
hold on, before you go further, those of you who are listening, if you've heard Cheryl talk about being left and waiting for this person to pick her up, they've gone to do something, she can't get hold of. She can't get hold of him. I want you to, if that would have annoyed you as a woman or as a man, either or, if something like that happened to you, I just want you to put a number 1 on the chat, because I just want to see where we're at. I want to bridge, feel the temperature in this room. So, you know, you've met somebody, you've kissed, you talked about relationship. You're supposed to meet. He's supposed to pick you up, and then he said he's a few minutes away from where you are. He's just got to go to sort out a family thing. You're thinking he's coming for you. You end up waiting. And when you're calling him, he's not answering his phone. How many of you, I just want to see, I want to measure the temperature in this room. How many would be annoyed? Just put a number 1 in the chat. Cheryl, carry on with your story.
Yeah, so that's, you know, that happened, and he was annoyed with me. There was a little bit of a disdain, and I just noticed that in the beginning, you know, there was all the phone calls, and it was like really hot and fiery. And then after that situation, because I exited out of the groups as well, and other people were asking like, what happened to her? Why she come out the group? He was that wasn't happy. He wasn't happy, and I noticed there was like a little bit of a damper. I noticed the change. I noticed there was a little bit of a damp there. But anyway, still going through the process with him, and just, you know, meeting up with him to help him in the organisation still the same way, and we had a little bit of a bicker about this other person because I just sensed there was something between them. He put me back in the groups, and there was another lady and the other lady who I was suspicious about. They had a little bit of a turbulence in the group, which I tried to be a peacemaker.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of lashed out on me not in a like, I don't want to. I don't want to go too deep into all those ins and outs. I want to get to the nitty gritty. Yeah. So if I go fast forwarding, so basically, far as I also remember him saying to me in the beginning that he had to say to people that he was in a relationship, but he wasn't, and that was just because to keep the women away. Yeah. To keep this kind of like this. Yeah, he was telling me something. I remember him saying something to me. That, yeah.
Hold on. Let me go back. Right. So he's saying that he's telling people that he's in a relationship, but he's not really. Is that what you're saying?
I think yeah, people. I think he was saying something like, I can't quote him exactly, but he was saying something like he had to. People think that he was in a relationship or something like that, so he can like keep people at bay. So there was issues with women,
right,
basically because of his, his where he was, he's I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. His profile, he's whatever. So I remember him saying that something like that to me. But anyway, going forward, so because I'm quite a discerning person, when I meet people, I can discern. I know if you're very much like that. And the whole girl, and there was just so much mix up in the beginning that I've never experienced in any relationship before. So I was just questioning myself, and throughout the process, I just felt so. I felt rejected. I felt like, oh my God, Cheryl, are you even ready for a relationship? And I was really questioning myself, and questioning my gut, questioning my, learning of situation, that I didn't trust myself, like to think, oh, maybe that's not, I'm getting it all wrong. So he mentioned to me that he's got a line of people who, psychiatrists, therapists. He's got a few therapists. So I said to him, do you know what? Give me a number of one of your therapists. I'd like to speak to one of them. But at that point, I thought that my intention wasn't pure when I asked him, because it was with the intent to say, let me get one of these therapists' number so I can find out about him somehow. So my thoughts at that time wasn't, I said, I made an appointment with it, then I cancelled. And then another situation happened where we were supposed to meet, and he did not even turn up, and he didn't even call me. So I was mad as glass, because there were so much things that took place that I took, and I still. And then, yeah, it happened. Yeah. So he never turned up. And then, so what I did, I called a therapist. I blocked him. I said, I'm not going to talk to him again. I just cut his backside. God forgive me. I cut him off. And then I called the therapist. I messaged her. She's in Italy, this therapist.
Okay.
And I messaged her, said I would like to have another appointment if it's okay for her to see me. She said yes. We booked an appointment. It was Thursday, actually, Thursday morning, gone. We had a meeting. Now, I spoke with her. She goes, oh, he's introduced, I know about you. Huh? Yeah, she already knows about me, spoken about me a month ago. I thought, okay, this is interesting. And So she said, oh, tell me about you. So I gave her a little brief about my upbringing. I'm one of 6, suffered trauma as a child, and gave her a little bit. But I said, the reason why I'm here is because I want to talk about so and so.
This so and so is,
and I want to,
right? So you want to talk about the man?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to talk about the guy in question, because I want to understand my processes. Because before I went into having a meeting with her, I prayed and I said, God, I want to know about my processes and how I'm choosing and what I'm doing so I can get better. And I said, if there's anything that I need to know about this man, let it be revealed. And I prayed about that. I love because he answers prayers.
Yeah.
I told her everything from the day how I met him, every situation that took place. When I told her about him flinging me out of the group because of the situation between the 2 women who were bickering, I was triggered. And she goes, that hurt you, didn't it? And I'm like, yeah, it did. And I was so angry with him for that as well. So there was things that she was picking up, and as she rightfully would, because she's a therapist. And I then started to talk about what happened with us and whatever. So after I shared, she said to me that she will keep our conversation in confidence. Yeah. She never took no money from me. She said she can't take any money from me. So I thought, okay, I was going to pay for this. Like, why are you not taking money from me? She said there's something that she had to tell me. And I said, okay. She goes, Cheryl, he lives with someone. And I thought, he lives with someone. She goes, not only does he live with someone, Cheryl, but he is married. I said, Jesus. I said, God. So he's married. I said, okay. And not only is he married, it was to her sister. It was the lady who he gave me the number. For the irony of it, like, I was in utter shock. If I'm honest, I was in shock. I was tearful. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And for me, it was the whole situation was the intent of deception for me. You know, you could be in a workplace or in a setting that you meet somebody and things could develop and you may not know. But for me, this was intent.
Okay.
It was intent. It was intent, and that was a shock for me. Yeah, that was an absolute shock for me, and it really burned me. Yeah.
Okay. I want to thank you for sharing that, because that must have been a shock to you. Not know, but you mentioned something earlier, and you said that you became, it was like you were thinking, is it you? Is it been triggered? And you used the word triggered, and you said, I didn't trust myself.
Yeah.
And
I just lost that for myself because I thought I was going mad. I thought nothing's there. It's me. I'm the problem.
Right. And this is the thing, you know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the crux of it. When we are in the realm of being deceived, is that we start to second guess ourselves. And even though the flags are there, and because you want a relationship, because you like the person, because the person's giving you that attention that you need, and fulfilling something in you at that moment, you then start to trust them and distrust yourself. And this is a real key thing here, because, you know, his intention was to have some form of relationship with you, knowing that he is in a relationship, he's married, and, you know, and doing what he's doing. You were not privy to that information, and so you could only go. What I want to highlight here, and to everybody, And I'm so proud of you, Cheryl, for coming on and telling us your story, because one of the things, what most of us, especially women, what we would do, not all of us, not all women, but some women would it, feel embarrassed, feel shame, feel guilt, about yourself. So the one thing, you haven't trusted yourself, but then you start battering yourself. You can't tell anyone because you're embarrassed. This, all of these different reasons, the shame of I should have known better. Blah, blah. The thing is that as women, as human beings, as men, we have to get to a position where we start listening to our intuition. You said you are discerning, and I know you're discerning. And one of the things I was going to call this thing discernment versus deceit or deception. We have a spirit. Every single one of us have a spirit within. Every single one. And many, many times we meet these people. Men, I've been watching lots and lots of stories with this catfishing that's going on. And we want to believe the women. We want to believe the men. We want to believe this person that is outside of ourselves, because their conversation brings up an emotion in us. That, because especially if you're single, especially if you've been single for a long time. And I just really want to highlight how you protect yourself from charlatans like this. And not everything that is glittering is gold.
It's gold.
As my mother and my grandmother said. It's not gold.
And it's something that I've always said. And he just wooed me. The way his mind works, and the level of conversation, it was just on another level for me. And and just that, I fell in love with his vision more than anything. It was his vision, and I could see how I could, with people who I knew corroboratively, really help that vision. And it's like the level of deception. And even when I go into that forum, and I've gone into that forum, and he's been present, and I listen to him speak, it's like, you are not even of truth. Like, I just can't even stand to even listen to him. I thought, let me go in this forum to see if I can listen to him. And just listening to him, like, a part of me says, like, you are just, you're not of truth. And even after that session with his wife's sister, the therapist, I called him. I rang down his phone, no answer. So what I did, I Facebooked one of his workers, somebody who I know closely with him, and I invited her to something, and that must have triggered him. So I don't know if by that time the sister called the sister or whatever happened. He did call me and asked me, how are you? Like, I just thought to myself, is this guy for real? I said, I'm not doing very good. And started to say to me that he entrusted me and all of this business. I said, entrusted me with who? Your wife's sister, as the therapist. I said, I said to him that he was you're not a man of truth, And then he said, told me that I was making myself look effing stupid. And I said to him, how dare you speak to me like that? And then he, put the phone down. And from that time, haven't heard nothing from him. Yeah.
But this is
so I don't have no respect for him whatsoever. No, I really trusted him. I trusted him, and at that point I could have really like kicked myself, because I trusted him so in a short space of time. I was thinking about age, you're going to be 50 next year. There's no reason for you to tell lies. There's why would you? Nowadays, you can tell a woman that you're married, and some women wouldn't even care.
Yeah, that's true.
I would, because I don't want to be with no married man. I want somebody who is single.
Right.
But I just think to myself, why lie? And for me, it's it's the deception, and it's the intent. You had an intention from the beginning to not be truthful.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what, and that really rocked me, Yvonne, and I really do believe if it wasn't for my relationship with God and my sisters, the people that I've got around me, my good sisters, and my sister, my blood sister, you know, they warned me. You know, I'm not going to lie. There's a sister, she goes, Metelio, you said that if you can't hear, you go, I'm feeling Cheryl. You know, they will tell me the truth in love, because I put them things that goes, run from that, Cheryl, run from it. It's not for you, run. And I was still there, hoping that I was, you know, wanted to believe I was wrong. Yeah.
So these are the things that come to mind here. One of the first things, and Maxie Golden has actually, I'm going to read her comment. She said, "You would not be wrong to call his name, as the enemy does not deserve to be left prowling around seeking whom he can devour." That's what Maxine L. Golden has said. Thank you so much for writing that, Maxine. And again, it's actually your call, Cheryl. You do what you feel is right for you. If you want to call names, you call it. If you don't, you don't. At the end of the day, you know, it seems like this man is around a lot of women.
He is.
One of the things that I'm going to say, yeah, I can well imagine, is that when you meet somebody, not you directly, Cheryl, but I'm talking to the whole platform here. When you meet somebody, there is no rush. Do not let anybody, even if your skin catch a fire. I'm going to go down that road, because we're human, right? And we've all got wants, we've all got desires, yeah? We've got lusts after the flesh, all of us. But I'm going to say, do not rush. Take your time, because you see, and it's a good thing that you didn't sleep with him, because if you had slept with him, you'd feel a lot worse now. It would be a lot harder for you, right? Because then that would be a real entanglement. So don't rush the process. Let a person show you who they are. You know, you as a person, as we as human beings, we are the best person to show everybody else how to treat us. And so there is no rush. Get to know, talk a lot, have a lot of talk, have a lot of banter, flirt if you have to, do all of those lovely things you would do. But I would say, do not rush to create a relationship. Just be friends, just be cool, see what has been said, and then investigate, ask questions, go to people that may know him, ask questions. Who is this person? What is their background? Do you know, can you vouch for this? How long have you known this person?
Do you know, as you said that earlier, it was really funny, profound, because even like a month prior, I actually spoke to somebody, somebody from the grapevine. I had a conversation with them, and I asked about him, and they said to me, Cheryl, him live with a woman. I said, what? I said, are you for real? He goes, Cheryl, he said, leave that alone, Cheryl. That's not for you. He goes, wait on God. He goes, wait on God. Don't even go there. So I said, this cannot. So I confronted him, and he denied it. He denied it. He asked me, he said, who told you this? So obviously, I'm not going to give up who told, you know, because the person told me in confidence, but he denied it.
Okay.
He denied it. But what happened with the therapist? Obviously, I didn't know her. And he made a thought that I was going to go to her and talk about him. I'm going to go talk about my childhood trauma. No, I'm talking about the situation that's got me confused to be here.
Right.
And which was him. So I just, you know, and I said I needed to say to her, and then she revealed to me and it just made me realize that, one, my discernment was on point, because today I do believe that him and the other woman had something, because I discerned it.
Yeah.
you know. So and that was like, for me, that was a relief, you know, like in that moment of shock, I was like, there was a freedom in it as well. Like, okay, then God, like, there's no, like, you've given me so many different signs, but this one, it's in your face. You have to take it. It's what it is.
Yeah.
And I said to myself, your rejection is God's protection of me, because there is better for me.
There is.
You know,
Absolutely.
there is better, because I am wonderfully made in God's image. Sometimes we can confess certain things, and it's up to us to believe what the word of God says. And the reason why I'm speaking about this is to help somebody, else. If you're in this situation and you know a sister or brother that is, because not only men that deceive, women deceive as well. And for me, you've met somebody and you know that your intention towards that person is not right. It's a wicked spirit. You have a wicked spirit. If you've met somebody and you know that you don't want to be with them, you are married, you're already in a commitment, or you know that your intentions are not true to that person, do not be dishonest to them, because you're dealing with somebody's life, you're dealing with somebody's emotion. And if they're a child of God, the Bible says, do not touch my anointed and do them no harm. If they cry to their father, not that they're going to pray anything wicked over you, but that's God's child. You know, we have to treat people how we want to be treated. Like, we make mistakes, you know, stuff happens.
It does. It absolutely.
But we have to be, you know, it's just a deception for me at this age of my life. For me, you know, being in my 40s, like, the deception and the lies that people tell, for me, it's really hard for me to take. Because I feel like when we yeah.
What was the learning?
Sorry, Yvonne, I didn't hear.
In this? Oh, okay, sorry. I was saying, what is the learning in this situation for you? Because we know about the deceit and the deceivers. We know that the enemy comes to kill, steal, and destroy. We know this. We know. So what is the learning? How do you now move forward in this? Before I bring in the points that I'm going to make.
There's lessons, and there's blessings, and there's lessons. This is a lesson for me, a hard one, and it's not something.
What is the lesson? What is the lesson that you?
I have to be more. I can't just take people at face value. I can't entrust so easily. It's going to make me. I don't want to be like, you know, I meet some women and they're very guarded, and you can see that on their persona. I don't want to be like that, because they've been hurt, and that's understandable. But for me, I need to take when I meet somebody, I need to have my accountabilities and take my time, get to know that person, get to know the people they're around, their friends. Just take my time, and I'm going to be, and with the elders that I have around me, I'm going to be really speaking with them and having accountability, because I don't, if I'm honest with you, I don't have emotional, physical, or spiritual room for any more of this.
Okay. I'm glad you said I'm glad you said that, because what I want to say to you, what I want to challenge you with, Cheryl, now is, from this moment on, the one thing that I believe that will help you immensely in your pursuit of finding a relationship is your trust of yourself. None of this is everything starts with us first. Everything in our lives, everything starts with me, everything starts with you first. And the first thing that you must do is to learn to trust your instincts, trust yourself, trust because the thing is, you have said, God already showed you. And another thing, he showed you by how he treated you.
Yeah.
Right? He showed you. But it took the therapist part to really penetrate you, right?
Yeah.
To penetrate your psyche, your soul, to say, oh, okay, this man really isn't for me. He doesn't have good intentions towards me. But it's like the story of the man who's on a little piece of he's on like a little piece in the sea, and he's God help, or he's at the edge of a cliff and he's praying to God, help me, help me, help me, help me. And God is just saying, just put your foot down. Still saying, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me, help me. Because he didn't trust what he heard. And first and foremost, it's our responsibility. Having accountability outside is brilliant and it's needed. But the first thing is to actually learn to have a good relationship with yourself and trust your instincts, because your instincts, your intuition will never, ever lead you wrong. And even if you are so-called paranoid about something, it's going to deter you away from that situation anyway. So it's going to prevent you from feeling that pain again. You said you're not going to rush in, which is fantastic, which is my number one thing. Don't rush the relationship. Don't rush to believe anybody. And it's not to say that you're putting up barriers, but you make the person prove. They've got to prove themselves.
Yeah.
Prove themselves to you. You don't know them from Adam.
Yeah. It's truth.
Yeah, that's the truth. You are a queen. You are
yes, I am.
Absolute queen. Nobody come in and dampen who you are with their lies. Let them prove themselves. Prove themselves. Prove that they're trustworthy. Ask questions, because I'll tell you what. You see when you lie, right? One thing I know about this, people lie and they lie over foolishness, but they forget the lies that they told. So eventually in conversation, when that lie comes and you go back again, they're going to say something completely different. And then you have, oh, but the last time we spoke about this, you said this, or you said that. These are things, tools that we can use to protect. I said trust your instinct. And the last one is when the person is with you, when you're, and this is not for you, Cheryl, I'm saying this to everybody listening. When a person is approaching you, listen. Be quick. Be slow to talk. Be quick to listen. Just listen to what they say, because they will tell you. You see that man? That man told you, but he didn't tell you directly. He just said, because of my position, women, blah, blah, blah. If you come to my house, my ex-wife, she's an ex-wife for a reason. That's why she has the ex.
Because he's got two wives. He talked about the ex-wife and the child, that was the present wife, but that was the first wife.
Mm-hmm.
The second wife is the wife that the Italian therapist who I spoke to, it's her sister. Because I said to her, hang on a minute, do they have children together? She said no, but they've been together, they've been married for 3 years and they've been together for 8. So that's his second wife. So when he was speaking to me, there was no mention of no second wife. It was only referring to the first wife with the child.
That's right.
And very like it was his ex-wife, which that was truth, but you are actually married to somebody else.
Wow. You see, this is where you dodged a bullet. You dodged a bullet.
That's what somebody, I really did.
And I know that this is painful. And like Fiona of London, words when they lie to you when you are at a vulnerable stage in your life. And this is so true. And because of being single, we like I said earlier, as we were talking, we want to be with somebody. You want to be able to trust. You want to have that relationship. You want to feel nice. You want the attention and all of that. And it does make us feel good. And sometimes, a little air goes into our head and we just get carried away. But you see, this is why I say the enemy comes in to kill, steal, and destroy. We know this, but we also have to remember, as God's children, that we are all God's children, and He is a child. Even though His intention was not good for you, He's still
he was God's child.
God. He's still a child of God. And my advice to you is to forgive yourself. First and foremost, forgive yourself for ignoring what God had told you, what he was showing you what to do. Forgive yourself, 1. 2, forgive him for that. When I say forgive him, don't mean to say you're going to forget, no, or be no, or anything like that. No, that's not what I'm saying. Because the forgiveness is about you and it's for you. It's so that you can walk free and not have the pain of what has happened to you walk into another relationship. So release that, release him to God. And one thing I know is that God always avenges. He does. And I always, in my prayer, I said, God, avenge on my behalf and let me see. I want to see it. Oh, yes, yes, yes. And I'll tell you this. And I'll tell you this. This is how God works. My ex-husband, I'm just going to share something with you. My ex-husband had an affair, right? That was the end of that. And this is a long time ago. We're very good friends now. It's fine. And I said to God, I'm your child. Avenge on my behalf and let me see. Years later, when I say years later, he remarried. And what happened to him was his wife had an affair very publicly.
You see?
And so,
because what you sow is what you reap.
And
what you sow.
It absolutely shook his world. You see, you pray. When you are faithful and you pray and you have a good, pure heart, when you ask God to do something for you now, he will do it. And I said, let me see. I don't want to hear something. I said, I want to see it. And I saw it. And to this day, I see it. And, you know, I'm not laughing, but I said, see, what goes around comes around. Every day has its day. Every single day.
I was sincere. And, you know, I was sincere and God knew it. And, you know, I'm you know, in the midst of it all, I'm so thankful to God that I did not go down any more of the journey with him. So
absolutely,
God just, because he has got better for me. And I had to, for a split second, I forgot who I was in the midst of all that. And, you know, I'm reminding myself who I am, you know, and I've just to really wait on God, just to really just be obedient to him and wait on him, because when he gives well, you know. He doesn't just give for now, he gives for the future. But in regarding him, you know, I know God will deal with that. You know, I'm not praying wicked over his life, because I recognize that he is God's child and I have to forgive him. And even I've even asked God to help me tolerate him, because I've even gone into the platforms to see if I can even stand to even be there to listen to him. And it was very painful and difficult. But I will continue to pray that for him, you know, so I can heal. And God will deal with that. Absolutely. You know,
he will. I salute you for being brave and bold and fearless and being who you are, to actually come on this platform and talk about it openly so that others can hear the story, because we all go through things, and what we do is we keep it secret, and then we end up doing the same thing over and over again. And one of the things is as well that what I want you to know is that you're not alone. You're not alone. On this platform, I can guarantee at least half of people that are listening have been through something similar. I can guarantee that. You're not alone, Cheryl. And the fact that you openly come out and spoke about it, you're taking responsibility for your part, and you're saying, this is the person, this is the man. You know, like we said in the beginning, not everything that glitters is gold. But sometimes we see something and we see an opportunity and we want good for ourselves. We want good.
And the wonderful thing about it is, this morning when I woke up, saw the sun rise, beautiful purple. I put a pen to paper, and my title of my book through this process, you know, I've now started writing about, you know, your rejection is God's protection of me. You know, so I'm going to write about this. I'm going to write about what I've gone through to help somebody else. So I'm on my writing journey. So it's, you know, out of the pain has become gain.
Absolutely.
You know, the word of the word of God says that in everything that we go through, good or not so good, he said everything will work together for the good.
All things work together for the
for the good, for those who love him.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not perfect in no means, but do you know what? I love God, and he so loves me. He loves me. You know, and these things like
he you, yep. He showed you who the young man was. All we have to do now is be aware that our awareness muscle. You know, there are muscles that we have in the spiritual realm, the physical realm, the emotional realm, you know, in the sexual realm, in every realm of our life, there are muscles that need to be built. And this is a muscle, this awareness muscle, or an awakening muscle, to be aware of who is around you and what their plan is. There are many, many people, when your intuition tells you, do not walk or do this, or just listen. And this is something to build your muscle. So now you're waiting on God and you're trusting God, but God is saying to you, build the muscle. Because this situation is going to happen again. Your test will come again. It will come again. And it's for you to pass the test, to learn from this and to pass the test, because that's what life is about. We go through all of these different hills and, you know, mountains, gullies, things, you know, that we go through to learn our life lessons. And, you know, this has really been one that many a woman, many a man
gone through. Not forgetting the men, because there are men out there who, you know, who've been deceived as well. There's women out there who do the same thing, and it's a wicked spirit. And you know, it's not flesh and blood that we fight against, principalities and powers.
Yeah.
So I'm trying my best not to look at the person.
Yeah.
And you know, because there is, you know, he's still a child of God, and I do believe there is some good in him. I don't know. I'm sure there is, even though I was hurt through the process.
You know, as you said, we're not perfect, and sometimes there's a thing, you know, sometimes that we go through life and we're not perfect, and there's just one element of our life which is our struggle. His struggle may be women. That may be his struggle, that he just likes to have a lot of women and lies, so he have women. That might be his struggle. So Paul in the Bible, he had his struggle. You know, you look in it from the beginning to the end of the Bible, you see struggle. We're imperfect people, and we have to remember that. We really do. But in the midst of that, operate in wisdom.
Yeah, and we have to be honest. Like if your whole persona, you're saying that you are this honest person, you're a person of truth, and you are not. And you know, you've intentionally misled me.
Yeah, because that's what deceit is. It's having the intention, the action or practice of deceiving someone by concealing or misrepresenting the truth.
That is lying. And then all the other areas of what, you know, for me, there's no truth in anything that he says and anything that he will say that he is. And when I listen to him, I'm like, so many people are wrapped up in you and believe that you are a man of truth, and you are not. You know, and it's really hard to bear to see it. It's like, so leave him with.
So this is why you have to make a decision. Do you speak about it? Do you openly say what his name, who he is, or do you keep that to yourself? Those are the things that you personally have to work out for yourself. As I have, you know, sometimes we're saying speak out, and you have to look at the legal ramifications as well. There's more to this than just saying, oh, XY did this, and, you know, do all of that. Right. You know, you have to be mindful. But but it does depend on the situation. And I think if anyone comes to you personally, you feel like saying his name, I think it's up to you if you do or not. I personally wouldn't be opposed to it, especially if the person has come to you and asked you about something to do with business, because at the end of the day, you know, for me, as somebody that does what I do, I would want to know, because it's about integrity at the end of the day.
Especially if I've introduced him to somebody, if I've introduced him to somebody in regards to business and stuff, I feel like I would have an obligation to that person to share and tell them what's happened, and it will be up to them what they did do next, but at least they have that information. So in that regard, and I know that he is surrounded with lots of people and he's quite influential as well. So but I have to think about the backlash if I call his name.
On because you or on him? Is the backlash on you or him?
It could be on both. And I say that in regarding, I don't know how deep things go. There's things that the Holy Spirit has revealed to me. So I feel like I would have to be very careful how I tread in relation of revealing his name.
Yeah. Anything that you say about the person has to be based on fact. It cannot be based on what's been revealed. It has to be based on fact. As much and it's a hard one. It's a very hard one, because sometimes you know stuff and you can't, you have no evidence, so you can't.
No, that's but my fact is that he deceived me.
Yeah.
And he's not walking in his truth. There's other things that through working alongside him, there's things that I know, and then other things have been revealed to me, but that's no here nor there. That's not my business. Yeah. But in regarding for me to say his name, I've got to think about the other people who entrust him in him as well, who may be, you know, hurt in the process.
Well, if they're going to be hurt, they're going to be hurt anyway. But my thing, it is a tough one, but this is where I stand on it. As long as you're talking about what concerns you and what has happened to you, and it's your testimony, speak. Speak, and you can speak your truth. That's what I think. Anything that doesn't concern you, that you don't have any facts on, that's not for you to talk about. But the things that you can talk about is the things that affect you, that happen to you, that you experience, because it was your experience. And you know, I see Maxine, I said, when the pastor from V2V was exposed, he went to prison. See, these are the things. I mean, we're not talking about a pastor here. We're just talking about somebody who's a leader in business, I think. I should say, I think. But again, it is about you healing first. And it is about you taking the responsibility that is yours and telling your story from that perspective and sounding the alarm in that way, because we have an obligation.
Women, I don't know if there's other women who are in my position as well. That's a concern for me, because he is surrounded by lots of women. So I'm thinking,
I'm going to and say that there's going to be, and I think when if the name is mentioned, it's the only way that the others are going to come forward. That's the only thing. By mentioning the name, then you will know, because there will be a cohort of women that come forward. And if there isn't, then maybe he wasn't. But more often than not, when something like this happens, i.e., let me take it to Jimmy Savile, it took one person. When that one person, R. Kelly, it took more. But with Jimmy Savile, it took one person, and the rest started to come. And that's how it happens. It takes one person to be brave, and that's it. And then it's a domino effect. Maxine says, I would imagine that there are, because he is a predator. He certainly comes
That's what
across
somebody else said.
this.
Yeah, someone else said to me.
Yeah,
Someone else said it in words.
yeah. From this, from hearing what you've said, he certainly does come across that way. And of course, you know, I have to say that he's not here to give his side. And so we are going by what Cheryl has said. I'm very, very glad that you've spoken. You know, sometimes you just have to do due diligence and just say these things. He's not here to say his story. We don't know what his name is, and he's not here. But I hear stories like this so much. So we are coming down to the end of our talk. But I want Cheryl to just give us an insight on how you are feeling now, and what your intention will be now moving on from this. Yeah, what is your intention now, and how are you feeling now that you've got some of this off of your chest?
I feel okay. I'm still a bit bruised. Because it's the emotional, you know, when somebody has you emotionally, there's a saying that they have, you know, in the mindset. So I'm detoxing myself. I'm just gonna, you know, be focused on the things I need to, and just trust God in my process. You know, I've got really good, I've got good network around me. I've got people who are powerful. I'm just going to take one day at a time. It's a lesson, and I've learned from it. I can't, as I said, I don't have any more room for any more of these. And the red flags were there, and I chose not to see them. And I had my sister say, that's a red flag. And she goes, come on, Cheryl, like, nah, like this, yeah, man, like, no. She's so discerning. She's like, no, Cheryl. And I still wanted to be there. So it's that process within me that I need to deal with, that yearning, wanting, and then being patient and waiting on God and working on myself and having fun and enjoying my life and just building up myself. And I think that's what I'm going to be doing more of, because I know that in time the right person will come. Yeah.
You will. They will. And I thank you. Thank you so much. I thank everybody for being here. We've never done anything like this before. And I think it's something that I would be up for doing again. So if there's anybody on the chat that wants to share their story and talk about what their experience has been, please a DM. You can slide into my DMs as long as they're not asking me out on a date. That's fine. But also for you, yeah. Also for you, Cheryl, what I want to say to you is I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm starting a 21-day into loving yourself program. It's online. It's every day for 21 days. And what I am going to do is I am going to send you a complimentary ticket to the full 21 days. And that's going to help you to reconnect and revive yourself, your relationship with you.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Yvonne. That's really kind of you.
You're very, very welcome. I just feel that, you know, our relationship with ourselves, we're always looking to start relationships outside of ourselves. But actually, the most important, the most fundamental relationship that we have is the relationship that we have with ourselves. And the 21 days into loving yourself is an accelerator for you to live your best life. 100%. And it's 21 days, and that means 21 days of commitment. Now, I would not normally give this away for people. When people pay, they commit more something, and you've been very brave, and I feel that I really want to walk through the next period with you. So it was actually supposed to start today, but those of you who know me know I was put on a retreat the other day and I'm shattered. So it starts on the 28th of November and it will be for 21 days. And if anybody else is interested, again, I will put a link on here and you can join, get your spot. There's only space for 21 people. Once we get to 21, that's it, no more. So if you do want to, and actually it's now gone to, actually no, it's now, I think it's about 18, 17, because some of the tickets have already gone already. So it will go and it will be full. So if you want to join, anyone that's on this platform tonight, please do contact me, or I will put the link in after this live. But I want to especially thank you, Cheryl, for being so brave. I really do. It takes a lot. It takes a lot to be so open and to be so honest, you know, and tell your truth. You know, because you could have quite easily said, yeah, it's him. No, I didn't have no signs. No, this. But no, you've taken responsibility and you see there were signs.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
That it shows that you want to grow. It shows that you want good for you. You want the best. And that's what you should have, the best.
Thank you. I just, I have to put my hands up to my own, what I allowed, basically. You know, and God is good, and I know it's a journey of learning, and you know, I really just pray that if there's any woman that is on here and who's on any platform, and the platform where I met him was actually Clubhouse, so I want you to be aware of that, Clubhouse.
Okay.
So that's what I will say. It's on Clubhouse. So anybody that you're meeting on Clubhouse or any social media, you really need to know them. Don't let what they're telling you gloss over your eyes. Really just let your eyes be opened and see and ask questions to those who are around them as well. So yeah, just be really aware, because there's a lot of people that will say that there's something that they are not, they're not walking in truth. So yeah.
Thank you so much for tonight. Guys, can we send Cheryl some love on the line? If we can put the hearts on the line, let's pretty up this screen and show her some love on this chat tonight. Come on, guys, there's a few of us on here. So just send her some love. I think, I'm not sure, I'm not up there with Instagram, you know. But I saw some hearts going up. There we go. So those of you who can hearts, send some hearts to Cheryl. Let her feel the love.
Thank you.
Here for her. You're not alone, my darling. You're not alone. We are here to support. We are
Thank
here
you so much
to help. And that's it for tonight. You're welcome. I don't know. Should we do this again next week and see what happens? I don't know. Shall we do this at 8:30 on a Sunday? Let's see what happens. But yeah, thank you so.
And if anybody has any concerns or, you know, DM me.
Yeah.
Speak to me.
Do this. To me. And we can do another live. And whoever wants to. Look at all the love. Look at all that love that you're getting. Yeah,
thank
look at
you.
the love that you're getting on that screen. Off now. Sheena Campbell saying go for it. We're live 8:30, and whoever again, if there is any and needs a little bit of a come on the chat and we will have a discussion. But DM me so we can work it out. All right, my loves. Have a blessed week. All the best. And Cheryl, stay blessed and know that you're loved.
God bless you, everyone. Take care.
Ciao.
Thank you. Bye-bye.